Dear friends, it is my privilege once again to welcome you all to the 10th annual general meeting of the company today. As the director's report and accounts of your company for the year ended 30th June have been in your hands for some time, I should like, with your approval, to take them as read. Before I touch on the present economic conditions in the country, I feel it would be helpful as a background to refer to some of the points in some speech last year. I had expressed certain fears on that occasion and made a reference to the drop in our agricultural output, galloping inflation, growing shortage of working capital, the difficulties faced by textile industry, and last but not the least, conditions arising from new oil prices. I also mentioned on that occasion that a tendency was developing for underutilization of installed capacities and increasing unemployment, particularly among the qualified class. Power cuts imposed at that time resulted in sharp fall in production as they do so even at present in some parts of the country. The effect of all these factors naturally led to so many events and had already shown the evil results. We have now put our hopes on 20-point economic program brought about by the Prime Minister under conditions which are definitely better than what they were earlier. I hope that conditions will improve rapidly in the coming year. You will have observed that the set program is a real approach to our economic condition and lays down for the first time in our history economic priorities for achieving social justice so that we can confer on weaker sections of the society a hope of better opportunities than the mere privilege of a vote which independence had brought forth for them. Coming now to our own operations, I am sure you are pleased with the results of our company, which have been substantially better than those reflected during the last year. In fact, on the whole, the tire industry has had a successful year of operation in spite of a number of difficulties. This happy position can be attributed to decontrol of prices of tires from April and other favorable factors. Excise duty and other indirect taxes which were imposed on the industrial output in order to cover up the margins during the days of inflation are today affecting offtake. A considerable part of the profits of last year accrued from ready buyers for products. Things have changed now. The seller's market, which was prevailing in the tire industry last year, is now moving into the buyer's market with consumers choosing their brands. A number of factors have brought about this change, particularly the high price fuel, the subsequent substantial rise in the price of all vehicles, and the ban on interstate movement of goods. In the buyer's market, three factors always assume special significance. They are quality, service, and price. We have always been very particular about the quality, and our policy of quality goes in before the name goes on, even when there was an acute shortage of almost all classes of tires remains unchanged. I am happy to say that our product is not only received well at home but has also found ready acceptance in the overseas markets. I have great confidence that the stress we thus placed on quality will stand us in good stead. Service after sales for consumers' satisfaction has always been our guiding line. on prices consistent with our cost. We have come to levels at which margins we realized last year are no longer available to us, and the only answer we have to this problem is higher turnover at lower levels. In the years ahead, the very existence of the tire industry will largely depend upon the seriousness and determination with which the challenge of producing quality products at competitive prices will be met. We are therefore proceeding with our substantial expansion, and a higher outturn would be possible in the current year. I am happy to say that we have already taken sufficient measures for improving the quality of our tires. We also hope that the government is aware that the high cost of oil puts a limit on road transport and thereby reducing the demand for tires. Further, there have been some restrictions on movement of certain commodities, particularly coal by road. We are sure that the government will remove all these restrictions early. As a matter of fact, in the 20-point program, full scope is given for promotion of road transport, and for the first time in the history of our country, National Permit Scheme for Road Transport finds a place in our economic system. I hope that the scheme would be implemented without delay so that the road transport can continue to play an important role in the future development of the country. Before I conclude, I thank the government and also staff members who have made considerable contribution for getting good results. Dear sir, we thank you for your letter dated the 10th November. We are pleased to learn that you intend taking up chief agency for life business for the entire North for a company which can offer you the most attractive terms. We are particularly glad that you wish to know whether there is any proposal to have such position of chief agency. Your proposal is undoubtedly good. The insurance company themselves are already going into the question of making arrangements for chief agency for some of the districts. Your letter has also come in time. You have expressed a desire to work up the entire North. There may not be any difficulty in granting you this area. However, we take the liberty of observing that in the initial stages it is better that smaller areas be worked up intensively and then the business expanded. Perhaps you are aware of the great responsibilities to take right from the start in working up the field and producing the required business periodically. Once you create a productive organization and a regular flow of business, you will automatically gain confidence of expanding the organization over a wider area. In our opinion, in the initial stages, there should be enough encouragement in regard to the organization and volume of business to make way for a greater success. Another reason why we suggest this is that the selection and training of agents is a difficult task requiring intensive effort, and a wide distribution of agents may render work a little difficult for supervision and business field. Normally, we expect business turnover of a minimum of rupees 3 lakhs under our standard tables with one full year's premium paid through your organization. The rates of commission and terms governing the chief agency are subject to revision every year based on the business of the previous year. The Insurance Act lays down certain conditions to be satisfied by the chief agents, and your attention is invited to the particular section therein. We should be glad to furnish any further information you require on hearing from you. Wishing you every success on all your future endeavors. Yours faithfully.